So one of the questions I get asked all the time is, do we meet too much as a leadership team, or do we meet too little as a leadership team? And when we meet, what should we be talking about? So I think there's 5 or 6 different leadership teams I'm working with at the moment, and I've seen everything that you can do wrong, and I've seen everything you can do right. If you get this right, you get the balance of strategic and operational right, and you allow relationships to develop and work to get done. If you get the balance wrong, people sit there like it's a waste of their time. Which one do you want? If you want the one that you think works, I'm going to talk it through. Stick around. So here's the thing I've worked out, which is that with leadership teams, there's 2 reasons they have meetings. The first one is they have meetings because they need to align their activity to achieve their goals, their shared goals, right? So anytime they meet, which is to decide or plan, to make decisions or to plan what you're doing, what I'm doing to achieve the results you're after, they're alignment meetings. But if it's all that, and there's no relationship building, eventually what happens is people don't trust one another and you don't get shared accountability, which is I've talked about before. So there also needs to be connection meetings. 2 reasons that leadership teams will meet is either to build alignment or to build trust, which is the connection. But the biggest mistake I used to make is I'd say to them, all right, so your meeting needs to have the connection bit where we all talk about our lives and our families and all that sort of stuff, and then you can do the alignment bit. And I've actually realized that doesn't work. Integrating the 2 means neither of them get done well. So what I've started actually suggesting to clients is that they separate the 2, and they do both really well. The framework that I use is the biggest problem with the alignment side is that most leadership teams, they spend too much time in the operational, which means they're not creating value for the future and they're not building future revenue. So my rhythm is we have a quarterly strategy meeting, which I have a framework for, and I help them run. And then on the operational side, we have monthly, or you might want to have fortnightly, depending on where you're at to, meetings that actually talk about the implementation of that strategy on a monthly or a fortnightly basis. The biggest change that I usually make is the connection between these 2. So that the things, the shared goals that we talk about at the quarterly strategy meeting and the opportunities and risks that we need to address, there is a connection between those and the monthly meetings so that they're actually being actioned and delivered upon. And I can help you do that if you need help. The second one is this whole connection. It used to be typically we'd go out for dinner or we'd go race, team building activity. Some of those work and some of those don't, okay? But every quarter there needs to be an event which is just about hanging out as people. Not talking about the business, just getting to know one another and who we are, about our families and our lives, and building trust. Right, so you can do that through team building, you can do it through a dinner, you can do it through drinks, but what I recommend is don't try and balance the 2. Don't try and do the work and then do the hanging out. Just make it all about them and about building relationships within the team. And then there's a lot of regular daily or weekly things you can do that I think make a big difference. The big one it's really popular at the moment, it seems to work really well with my clients, is I get them to set up a WhatsApp group. I don't know if any of you who use WhatsApp, much better than Messenger. It's internet based and it allows for immediate kind of banter, taking it out of one another, which is all good. And it also allows for immediate updates of things on actually the work and aligning together. The other one is ringing and regular calls with other people in the team. I know you do it already, but that daily, weekly rhythm keeps the trust high. So let me just summarize. 2 reasons we have meetings as leadership teams. One is to align our activities so that we achieve our goals. The second is to connect as a team to it so we build trust. The big lesson I learned was to separate the 2. If you try and integrate them, you won't do either of them well. And by separating them, people know the purpose of the meeting. With alignment, have a quarterly strategy meeting and then a monthly operational meeting. And then with connection, make sure on a quarterly basis, you've got a chance for the team to hang out together as people. Dinner, team building, whatever it is. And then have a daily system where they've got an opportunity to interact and connect with one another. So what I want you to do is think about your team. Think about your leadership team and where the gap is. Are you spending too much time with alignment or too much time on connection? And what changes would you make to either your strategic or operational meetings to get the balance right in your team? Hopefully this system is something that you can go ahead and implement. And if you need help, talk to me about how I make it work. Good luck in the coming months with this system. Good luck with your team, and I'll talk to you next time on The Reason and the Road.